Hey guys, what's up? All right, well, I am ready to do this front inside cover. So ready. I am so excited about using this one. I think this is probably, besides the man, this is my fave. And saved it for, a primo spot. So we're going to use these up today. And you're going to need a paper that's going to go onto the, mat, the front inside cover. You're going to need whatever piece you're going to have for the top of the inside, what's going to show. Now, if you're not going to do any of this and you're just going to put something down, then by all means, go for it. But you know me, I can't do anything easy or simple. I don't know what it is, but I just gotta, always build something bigger and better, I guess. I don't know. So first, and then I also have 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11 of my brown cardstock, and this is a scrap, but it's not long enough this way, but it is long enough this way. So, because we're going to make an accordion, a movable accordion type file folder thingy, but it's going to be easy to get into, so it's going to be what do you call it? One level is going to be a little shorter than the next, and the next level is a little shorter than that. So you can see what's in there, you can get into it easily enough, and that kind of stuff. So there's going to be some accordion ship stuff going on here too. And I did find a pencil. Yay! So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and make a mat. And then I'm going to build on my mat instead of into my book. And then we'll just put it in. Move my phone off I got everything sitting on my printer. I don't know why. I mean, my printer, my cutter. All right, let me get this cut. Alrighty then. Okay, and actually, I cut that like that, but I really want more of this. I guess it's all right. I wanted more of the stripe to show, but that's okay. That's okay. You know me, I love that stripe. I don't love all stripes, but I do love that stripe. Okay, so we're going to get this one fixed up here. And then we're going to move on. Hopefully, we will get this done in short order. Let me just double check my fit. And it's great. So, let's put this away. I never like working in the book. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place these down. And I want them to come as close to this edge as possible. And basically all I'm going to do is the side that I had sitting up, because remember I ripped mine out. So this side is a little, and you can do them this way if you'd like, where, one flips one way and one flips the other. But I think for me, I'm going to just do it this way. And I'm just eyeballing where they're going to look nice at keeping them still all the way pretty much to this side. And then I'm just going to stick my pencil in. Is that going to show? No. Let's get the old marker out. I'm going to stick my marker. Aha, that works. Yeah, do that a little bit more. Okay, got that one down. And this seems to be about the same. So there's 1, 2, yep, and 3. Yes, okay. So I'm going to poke holes where I have my marks, and we're going to use brads. You don't have to make them very big. And I think, as I'm sitting here thinking about this, I think I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. Yeah, that will go from hole to hole. And just to reinforce it. Oh my goodness, I didn't put my pin in my glue last night. It was late. I was in here trying to finish up some stuff, man, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. And I guess I just walked away from my poor little glue. Yeah, I'm going to stick this down to reinforce. Because those are going to be pretty heavy when they're filled with pictures. And I am going to do, you know, some decorating to it as well. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a needed accessory. A much needed accessory. I had some score marks in there, so I'm just kind of smoothing those over and giving it a good burnish. Okay, now we're going to poke holes again. Yeah, a little tougher this time. Going through that. It's a lot more substantial now. Because this paper is, you know, it's designer paper. So it's not all that thick or strong as some of them are. All right. Oh, it probably would have been a good idea to get brads out, don't you think? Okay. I did get in some more because I was just about out. One, two, three, four. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. All right. So let's just get these down. And wait. I tell you, me and brads, I love using them, but my fingers don't like them very much. Do not. The fingers do not like them. Trying to make sure I stay in camera range. Not that this is very exciting, but... So my family has gone, and I'm very sad, but it was a wonderful visit. And that one needs some assistance. We're just going to get another one. Oh my gosh, to wake up the following morning after we dropped them off at the airport and not have my little grandson say, Nana, good morning. Oh my gosh, that was just started your whole day off just wonderfully. Oh man, so yeah, so I miss them, but you know, life goes on. And now I can get back to other things that I love. Okay, so I put the 3 brads in there, and I am going to put some glue on here. I also want to put some glue in the center because I noticed that I actually never glued that together. So we're going to put some glue in there. All right. Because I want all of that to glue down, and it's just going to help it. It's just going to help it. So we're going to try and get these in without making a mess. One. Two. And where are you? Right there. Oh, for heaven's sakes. you know what? This is probably the bottom one, because they just did not want to line up. So this must be the bottom one. Oh, yes. Much better. Much better. Okay. Flip it over. Push it down. So I signed up. You know, I have got like no extra time whatsoever right now. And I signed up to do, in one of the little groups that I'm in. It just sounded like so much fun. They're doing a card exchange. And you know me, I don't do cards, but I thought, well, this will get my juices flowing for cards. So I signed up to get what they do is one person kind of does 10 people, and they send out 10 card kits. And then you can add 5 things of your own to the card kit. And I probably need to tell my girlfriend Laurel about this one. She might really enjoy this one. So they send out five things for you to do. Oh no, I'm sorry. They send out one card kit, and it usually has 3 to 4 items in it, and you don't have to use all of every item, but you have to use part, at least part of every single item on your card. And you can get up to 5 items of your own from your own stash to use on the card. So, I signed up, and then they were saying, anybody else, we need to fill these slots. And I had seen somebody said, well, I'll join a second one if you need somebody. So I thought, well, that was nice. Maybe I should do that too. So I said, well, if you still need somebody, I'll sign up for one as well, for a second one. Well, apparently they needed somebody. So now I have 2 to do. And then all you do is post on their board what you did. So, it's no big pressure or anything, and you don't have to return it or send it to anybody or anything like that. It's just the the initial sign up and post your pictures. Do the work, post your pictures. So I have to do that, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? And then I've got the collaboration that I'm doing, the Christmas collaboration that I'm doing. I haven't even started that. I don't even have all the papers printed out. So I don't know. I'm like my own worst enemy. I'm excited about it all. I am very excited about it all, but woo! Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to do, now this 8.5 by 11 is smaller than the page, but I like that, okay? I like that. And I do want it to come all the way up and cover these pieces. So this is going to be my base. So I'm going to put this aside, and I know this works. So now the first thing I'm going to do is take another 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to cut myself, let's see, let's cut an inch, and then I'm going to cut, well, you know what? It'd be easier just to do this, and then you can see what I'm doing. It doesn't cut as well as my Fiskars, but it will cut just fine for what we're doing. Okay, so I got my base that I'm going to be working on for the accordion pocket that I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is Can't figure out an inch without the rest of it. Okay. I'm going to score, and I'm just going to use my regular stylist to score. If I can find it. Here's one right here. Oh, that's so tiny. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to score at, let's see, a 1/2 inch. Okay. Then I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch. And I'm doing it twice because this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock and it is quite thick. Okay. And then at 1 inch. Okay, so we have a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, and then from the 1 inch mark, I'm going to measure over a 1/2 inch and cut. All right, so there's that. Measure over a 1/2 inch, you know, roundabout there, and cut. So there's my first one. And then I'm going to, let's go ahead and cut this at 8.5. Because I don't think it's quite 8.5. Okay, so now it is. So now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to do a 1/2 inch. So make sure it's 8.5, and you're going to do whatever width, as long as it's like, let's see, this is probably, what, yeah, 1.5 inches. So as long as it's 3 or more inches, you're going to be fine. Okay, so again, a 1/2 inch. 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, measure over a 1/2 inch, cut, repeat. 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, measure over and cut. Okay. So that is what we're going to have for putting this together. I'm glad I could show you that. So now we're just going to, see, we're going to fold them. Come on. All right. Let's actually get a little burnishing down on these bad boys. Okay. All right. So we have, when it's stretched out, it's a full 1/2 inch, which is plenty. You start getting too much more in there than that, and your paper will tear. You know, you got to think of what your paper can actually take, as well as, you know, what this paper is pretty strong. It's very dense compared to some of the other cardstocks, but there's still limits, and probably need to cut off just a snippet. Okay, we're going to glue this down. If I can keep my nozzle on the paper. On one of the long sides, which will then turn into your bottom. Well, not your bottom, but the paper's bottom. I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry, guys. I'm feeling a little silly today, I guess. Got Terry, I guess maybe I've been spending too much time for her because with her, on her channel, she does bad jokes. I mean, and she calls them bad jokes. She's the first one to call them bad jokes, but so I guess I just gave you guys a bad joke. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. Okay, and then we've got our side piece, and you want to fit in the little mountain into the little mountain area. So you don't push this all the way down into this. You just kind of get it so where it's close to it but not touching. Okay, so see how there's a little bit of space between when the mountain's closed up completely. There's still a teeny bit of space between this piece and the mountaintop. All right, and then you will cut off what dangles out. And again, whoops. So sorry. Let's clip off just a smidge. It just helps hide all the bulk where people aren't seeing all of the built-in innards when they're looking at the product. I like to keep it a mystery myself. All right, so I'm going to lift this up and just watch that. I don't want too far away, but I do want it to stay away from that mountain when it's folded all the way. And the thing I didn't think about is when you do this, you're cutting it off, it's straight anyway. So don't worry about it. There we go. Let's give this a burnish. And then the other side. I am going to cut this side down. Just to help with bulk. Just to help with bulk. And again, just keep it away, whoopsie, from the mountain. Make sure it gets on the edge of the paper. There we go. Burnish. And cut the excess off. Excuse me. Okay, now the next sheet. I am going to want to put this on the top. Let's see. I'm going to want to put the top of this on the bottom of the accordion. Okay, so that will make the one a little tighter, the back one, but the front one will be on top of these. So there will be a better thickness to that. Now, I want this to drop down a smidge so that it's easier to get in. And I don't want to make anything really fancy, but I think what I'm going to do, well, first, let's get this. This is, okay, this is a good size. However, I think I'm going to cut it down a smidge, like 1/8 of an inch. I don't want to do too much because then it won't fit onto my little little doodads. But I don't want them going so far in that it, cripples the fold, that the fold will be fighting. I don't want that to happen. So, okay, so I've got that. And now I want to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't really want to cut my ends off because I want it to have as much stability as possible. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to use my grid and I'm going to find my center point. So there. So here is, let's see, that's 5.5 and that's 5.5. So the 0 is my center point. So I'm going to come down off my center point 1 inch. So I'm going to make a dot right there. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure from the outside edge in 1 inch. And I'm going to put a mark there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. In 1 inch. And make a mark. So then I'm just going to go from mark to mark. And make a line. And I don't know if you guys can see that. I think you can. And this is just going to make it, especially because this one's going to be so tight that, I can't find my line, that it will make it, just give it a little bit of decoration, but it'll make it easier to get into. And yet I'm not losing any of my stability. So I'm just going to cut this line off. But this is, no tools required except for a ruler, a pencil, and a pair of scissors. Okay. So now we're going to kind of open this up. And I'm going to put glue. I'm not going to put glue all the way down to the score line, but close. And, it'll spread, so you don't really have to go crazy. And then I'm going to place my page in here and make sure that I'm not getting into my score lines at all. And that I am lined up with the page up here. And it looks like I'm going to have to trim this down just a little bit. Just about 1/8 of an inch or less. To make sure that this is going to sit down in the bottom. Okay. So now I'm just going to fold this over and let that dry. Give it a little burnish. Do the same one with this one. Just on the back side of the mountain. And then fold it over. And burnish. And one more. We open it up. Glues it down. All right. So now that is totally closed and nothing will get out of that particular pocket. Okay. There we go. All right. Now the next one. I'm going to cut this one the same way. And this time I'm just going to kind of measure to make sure I'm getting it the way I want it. Well, it goes on the outside. Let's see. Yeah, I still need to cut down, about a 1/16 of an inch. So just get it where it's going to fit, you know, end to end onto all of your stand-ups. And you want your bottom one to be on top of the other two. And we can definitely get that done. Okay. All right. So now I know I've got a good fit. So now I'm going to do about the same thing. I'm going to come over 1 inch. Make a mark. Come over here 1 inch. Make a mark. Find my center. It was 5.5 on both sides. So here's my center, and I'm going to come down 1 inch. Do my corner, my point to point. Point to point. And cut this out. Just cut that score mark off. I mean that pencil mark, the score mark. There's no score mark. What are you talking about, Lisa? You're confusing me. Yes. Believe me, guys, in some tutorials, I have been that way too, saying, what? What are you saying? And I'll listen back and listen over and over again. And, you know, if it wasn't for the visual part, it would have been a lost cause. Okay. So now I have that. Now I want to figure out where I want it to be in the grand scheme of things compared to the upper one. I don't want it too far down. I think maybe, what is that? That's 3/4 of an inch. So I put mine down 3/4 of an inch, or, whoops, needle anyone? Or, ooh, 1.7 or 1.8 centimeters. Okay, so then I'm going to mark on my paper, just pull it a little bit, where I'm going to want this cut. And I'm going to cut it right there. All right. So now let's go ahead and just put a little bit of glue and push these down and just tack them together. It's just going to help you in the whole gluing situation. As my 5-year-old grandson said to me, and I laughed my derriere off, Nana, this would be a sticky situation. I'm like, oh my God. Kids say the darndest things. Yeah. His mom is a funny gal anyway. If I do say so myself. Actually takes after Dad. Dad is hugely funny. He actually did stand up for a while, so he's got it. My husband's actually done a lot of everything. Okay, so instead of putting glue, okay, let's do it this way. Let's set it up. And then let's make a mark on both of these because they're going to have to be cut off. We're going to cut this off straight across and down to the score line that's actually glued down. And I think I'm just going to flip them. I kind of like the little look of that little extra piece right there. I'm just going to flip it and glue it. A whole lot easier than trying to cut that without it getting all not sticky. And I mean, not sticky, but not cut correctly. And it's going to also help with some strength. So I think that's a good idea. So let's cut this one straight across. Open up your fold line and cut there. And then we're just going to flip it around. Put a little bit of glue there. And a little bit of glue here. And just flip it around. Yeah. Yeah. Like that. Like. Okay, let me get my pencil. I didn't cut all of my pencil mark off here, so let me get that. Okay. So now we're going to put glue all the way around. And get enough because, it's going to be pulled upon and things like that. So you want to make sure you've got a good amount of glue. Yeah, it took my husband and I a couple of days to recoup after having a 5-year-old in our house for a week. And I stay pretty active. I mean, I've got my little dog, well, my mid-size model, and I have to, really keep him exercise. So we go up the mountain, we toss the ball and run after it, and yes, I run after it too. And I just, I let him play, not rough, but, we get pretty rowdy. So I'm in pretty good shape. And, but yeah, oh my gosh, that's tough. All you grandmothers out there, I'm sure. Now, I didn't get this down as far as I wanted. There we go. There we go. Much is better. Much is better. And let's just... Okay. So there is our little folder that we're going to do. Now, if you wanted to make your folder a little bigger, instead of 1/4 inch, you could do a 1/2 inch. I just ended up with not as much room as I initially thought I was going to have, because I built the pages up so much. The front, I've got a little bit of space, but the back I ended up with not nearly as much room, which is usually my main thing. I just don't do that. Okay, so now we're going to need, that's it, yeah. I am going to cut out an inch strip, because, oh, maybe I had one. Did I have one? No. That's a little too small, a little 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to cut out an inch strip. You know, somewhere around in there. If you've got one that's 3/4 of an inch, that will probably work just fine, but... Okay, so we're going to pull this bad boy out. And we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And we're going to score... Well, actually, let's see. I'm going to score at 3/8. So if you haven't scored it yet, don't score at the 1/2 inch. Score at 3/8 and 5/8. If you have, it's no biggie. It will just roll instead of squared. And that's, you know, that's just fine. All right, let me do it this way because it's not quite lining up. So I am going to do all three since I've done all three. There we go. Alrighty. Whoops. Put that up. Put it up. Put it up. Okay, so I'm just going to fold on the two outside ones. I'm not going to fold on that middle 1/2 inch one. Okay, now go to the back of the file folder. And it's going to be, you know, like this. And let's snip just one. You don't have to do the other one. Snip a little bit off. Just a tiny sliver. All right, so this is my top back. So I'm putting this strip down at the bottom edge. Make sure it lines up nice and pretty. And then burnish. Get your box back. All right, so now I am going to open this up and put glue all on the inside of this 1/2 inch flap. And then I'm going to lay this. Oh, I have to center it. At about, there we go, right about there. Let's flip it over, make sure that it is down in the groove, but not infringing on it. And then let's boinish. Okay, so far this is what we have. All right, and that's going to sit right on top of these bad boys. Yay! Now, we got to make sure this doesn't flip all the time. Or if you like it to, because let's see what it will do. This will be on our inside front cover. Oops. Yeah, you're going to have to definitely, because these will not stay closed. When you go to close it, they're actually opening and sticking on here, and they will bend. So yes, we absolutely have to have a closure. Yes, we do. And I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get this on, and I think I will, because this is going to be the fattest part up here, and there will just be, I think I'll cut off the little bit of the wheel. Yeah, so we're good. I got most of it on. Yay! Okay, but I do need a closure. What to do? Ooh. Let's see. That leather stuff, like I used on the other piece. I do have this elastic with the little ends. I don't know. I don't know how it got knots in it. Stuff happens, you know. Well, this isn't elastic. I thought it was elastic. I did. And I'm not sure I like the brown. Although, you know, it's all going to be covered per se, but yeah, I can do the same thing that I did with the other, and that might be very cute. And then both pages, because this has these popped over, so if I use the same one of these, yes, I do believe. So, okay, so I have 2 of these. All right, and I think I'm going to like it coming down a ways onto here, and then some room to flip it around the bottom. So if I cut it right about here, that is approximately 6 inches. So I'm just going to cut the other one the same size. Going to need 4 magnets and 2 of the studs, or whatever. If you even want to put anything, you can just fold this over on itself and put the magnet in underneath. You can put some paper on the back of it if you'd like, anything like that. All right, and I'm going to get my little cushion. So any kind of, even styrofoam will help. And I'm just going to place these down so that they're, whoop, of course, we're gonna drop that puppy. Place these down so they look about in the same area. And I pushed them in, and that's as hard as that is. It is not hard at all to do these. But we're not going to fold them over just yet. Last time I had forgotten to do this. Where are my magnets? Here they are. So I think these are the ones that I used. I might have to go to my smaller ones. Just have to slide them off. Yeah, these will fit inside. So now I'm going to take take this out, slide the magnet in, and put it back in. Now I can close them. Where's my, oh, here it is. You want to push the material down as far as it will go onto the piece, onto the stud leg. And you can bend these yourself. You don't actually have to use anything, but they can get a little pokey. It can get a bit pokey. Okay. Just stretch that material down and then fold them over. Yes, ma'ams and sirs. Okay, there's one. Lift this out a little bit. Slide the magnet in. At this point, it doesn't matter if it's left, you know, which magnetic side. We'll let the part that we go on here figure out what the match is. Get all of that pulled down. And then push them bad boys over. Just be careful, because as you push on one side, the other side pops up, and if your fingers are on those little things, it gets to hooting. All right. Okay. So, there's the first half of that. I'm going to get 2 more magnets. Okay. Slide them apart. Let's go ahead and add these, because we don't want them to so I'm just adding glue to like a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to put it in a 1/2 inch. So it's in from the edge a 1/2 inch and in a 1/2 inch. And I need it to be straight. Having a grid is a wonderful thing. There we go. Do a 1/2 inch of this one. Okay, so there to there. About a 1/2 inch. And let's make sure it is straight. Okay, I think you can see both. Let that dry a minute. A little extra glue. Okay, match up these areas. I'm going to put a dot of glue. So if you don't have score tape, this is another way that you can do your magnets. I'm going to pull this around. Now remember, you want this paper to stay flat, and you don't want this so tight because this is going to move. So leave these where, because once you fill these up here and get papers in here, you're going to want this to be loose. So I'm going to do right about there. So leave it long enough so you get the dot of glue. and then just move your magnet onto the dot of glue. And I think you would add more, but I am just going to put tape over it. But that is a way that you can do if you don't have score tape, that you can get your magnets on. See, so now I have plenty of room for buildup. So I'm going to also remove that, put this right here in a straight line. I don't know, it's not looking straight to me, but it's okay. Picking up all the metal things. So that, I don't know, why is that not looking the same? Because it's not straight. That's why. Not straight at all. And okay. That's good. Right there. So, where's my other magnet? What did I do with it? Yeah. Of course. Is it? Oh, it's still on here. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Let's get this moved. Well, it's a little too low. Okay. I think that's nice. And so, boy, these magnets are picking up on everything. Let me just look here. That's straight. That's straight. And that's still down a little bit too far. Okay. I'm going to tape it right there. Obviously, if you're just using glue, you would have to wait a little while. So that's why I always tape mine down. But for viewing purposes, I like to leave. Okay, yeah, that's going to be good. So now, let's go ahead. I'm coming very rapidly up on 1 hour. So let's get this put in here. Yeah. And I am going to put some tape around it. If you don't have tape, don't worry about it. But this is a lot of weight on, on one piece of paper holding it all down. So, I'm going to give it a little bit of assistance with the tape. There we go. Then across here. Yeah, the more weight you get onto a piece of paper, the more you want to try and help it out in the in this way on connecting it to your book. Alrighty then. If anybody wants to know about this card club thingy that I'm in, it's Paper Paws. Paper Paws, I think that's for sure what it's called. It's a Facebook group, and they're very active. They always got something going on. So if you are looking for something like that, they might be just the ticket for you. It's about time I get a swap going again here, and I thought maybe we might do a Christmas. You know, it's Christmas in July kind of thing, so I thought I might do a quick Christmas swap. So we'll see. Kind of watch Facebook for it if you guys are interested. All right, so I'm going to take all this off, and we're going to get this down. And I'll show you, if you haven't seen it before, what I do when I'm using score tape and I want to have some wiggle time. And for those of you that have seen me do this stuff before, you know that I'm kind of a firm believer in, you don't want to put a glue on your score tape. Why? I mean, you know, all over it. I put the glue on the score tape, but I don't put it all over it because it kind of defeats the purpose of having the score tape. Just glue it down. You know, because you're totally putting a barrier between the score tape and the paper with the glue. But the way I do it, I still get a little bit of float time. And yes, there is glue on the score tape, but it is not all over the score tape. So first, I just do my center in-betweens. You want to make sure you're getting glue on those handles, so they are going to have extra help. Extra help too. Everybody needs a little extra help. So now what I do is I put some fairly good sized dots on the glue, on the tape, so that it will float. But you see how far apart they are. So there is still going to be score tape actually touching my paper. Okay. Oh, I didn't get it on this. If you don't get the dots on, it doesn't leave anything and it will just grab. Okay. Ooh, score tape my hair. Now, I'm going to make it match up in one corner first. And then pivot it a little bit until I get it matched up in the other corner. And then just drop it down. There we go. Now I'm going to burnish. And I like having glue coming out the corners, because that makes me feel like I'm definitely getting those corners down and the edges. I'm going to try and get this lifted up here a little bit so I'm pushing on some solid surface here. This is another reason why I do not do anything on the front of my album as a rule. I mean, you always break rules, but I don't like to not be able to do this kind of thing, because I usually do build something fairly substantial on the front cover, inside front cover, and you know, I just wanted to be able to get it down nicely. Okay, so guys, there it is. We still have the decorating to do. I will probably do that and then just come back and show you, because basically I'm going to take this And I'm going to cut another strip and cut another strip and just slide it in there so that you'll get the whole picture. But that's it, guys. And then the back, I'm just going to do the same thing that I've been doing with a collage. And I will probably decorate a few of these here and there. But when we come back again, I'll show you how I finish that off. And then we are working on, ta-da, the inside front cover. Woo, woo! And that did fill the book out. These are going to stick out a little bit. I might have to move those magnets down just a little bit. I don't like how that's sticking out so far. So I will move those magnets down a little bit. So you'll have to keep that in mind once you squeeze everything. But anyway, guys, front cover's next. Yes! Talk to you later. Bye.